On today's show, we're looking back at what a wonderful, educationally fulfilling year we've had here at the top secret lair of the EduTech Guys. FETC 2017 and its impact on education, plus coding and robotics opportunities this spring. We'll have the featured artist of the week, the Google tip of the week, and more. Stay tuned. EduTech Guys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on this site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.
Hello and welcome to EduTech Guys Radio, brought to you by Southwest Arkansas Education Cooperative and Hope Public Schools, both located in Hope, Arkansas. I'm one of your hosts, David Henderson.
Hey, and I'm Jeff Madlock.
Yeah, you got to think about it, man. You know, it's the new year.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2017 now. You got to remember who you are.
Got a lot of black-eyed peas and cabbage in me. Messing with my memory.
That's right, man. Woo! Oh my gosh, man. We are back after being off for a couple of weeks. Actually, 2 weeks ago, you put together a really cool, kind of a highlight show.
And that was last week. Yeah. We've in the week before we did our Christmas show, right before Christmas. See, we actually were, remember we were here on Wednesday and we did a show.
Oh, I forgot.
Actually, we weren't here on Wednesday. We did it on Tuesday. And then we came back in. That's why
I'm so confused.
That's why you're so off.
We pre-recorded. Don't tell anybody.
It's okay.
Don't kill us.
You can pre-record.
Can I?
That's what all the big sitcoms do.
In front of a live studio? Nice. That's Jeff's canned laughter. Nice. Oh, it's going to be one of those shows today, folks.
It is going to be one of these shows right here. There it is. Little IGY for you. That's for David.
Thank you.
I thought you'd like that.
Very cool.
I'm going to let it play out in the background.
That works for me.
So...
So how's it going, eh?
No, hey, it's a great year. Check us out on the web. You can catch us at www.edutechguys.com. You can also catch us on Twitter at twitter.com/edutechguys. Heck, just go to Google, type in EduTechGuys, and you'll find us. Also, catch up with what's happening out there with hashtag ETGChat.
That's right. And you will find us on Twitter. We are not going to be one of the people who troll Wendy's and gets kicked off. So.
Yeah, we do know what a refrigerator does.
Yes.
So we're okay.
We're good. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
I think it's pretty good.
Standing tough.
Jamming to the tunes. I don't have headphones. I have no idea what you're listening to.
I know.
So
See, that's what's funny.
It could be any song in the world, and you could tell me, and I wouldn't have any idea.
David's in the dark with that one, so he's not sure what's going down.
David is in the dark often, unfortunately.
That's cool. Hey, you know what's really interesting is that schools here for us are about to start tomorrow. Most schools came back on the 2nd, which was Monday. Mm-hmm. And so this week has kind of been a smattering of school startings.
Yes. Well, what's really funny is it's just like when we were going into the break, you know, several schools had let out, you know, different days. It was kind of staggered, and that's how they're coming back. Everybody's staggering. Wait, that didn't come out right.
Everybody's staggering.
That's right. The post-holiday fog is slowly dissipating, and it's like we're all the Walking Dead.
It's really funny. I wonder. It's really interesting. I wonder how many teachers don't want to come back to school tomorrow. Or this week, you know, she's like, oh, they just can't do it. Is that a statement on public education, I wonder? Or education in general?
I to be perfectly honest, I think that's a statement on any time you are given an extended break. Frankly, I don't think it matters what job it is. That first day back after having been off, you know, that's the toughest. You know?
Yeah.
Once you get back in the swing, then, you know, you kind of forget you even had a Christmas break.
Yeah.
Or whatever the extended break happened to be. But anyway, you're still playing.
I'm still letting it play through.
Okay.
Little beautiful world it could be.
Hey, there you go, man. That's old school. IGY, in case you guys aren't familiar, from what, about 82? Somewhere in there. It's good old Steely Dan, if memory serves. and
Good stuff.
good
Daniel
stuff,
Fagan.
man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, hey, listen, today we thought we'd just do a New Year's show because it's the new year for us, especially.
Oh,
What's wrong?
I was gonna bring the little noisemaker thing.
Oh, darn, we should have just looked up a soundbite of one.
No, I could have. Dun dun dun.
Could have easily put that out there. But no, seriously, it's been a really pretty great year for us. It's been a great year and a half for us. But honestly, we started this in June 2015.
Yeah.
And we actually just finished our full real fiscal year, I guess, or, the year of 2016 was our first 20 year, I mean, not cutting it. You know what I'm trying to say.
Calendar year.
Thank you.
Is that what you're looking for?
I'm quitting tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm not supposed
we'll be
to
looking.
be here.
We'll be looking for a new host. So.
New co-host job will be open. But this last year, Dave and I were talking. We started off the year last year with Sabra Eaton.
Yeah, she was one of the co-founders of the hashtag ArcEdChat.
Yeah,
along with Daisy Dyer-Dewar.
Yeah, right after that was Jim Beagley.
Yeah, and
that was he's a tech guy, but he's also really big in Civil War education.
Yeah, he is. And I'll tell you what, he's got I don't know if it's a side business or part of his primary thing he does, but anyway, he helps develop WordPress sites for folks, and so he's been doing a lot of that kind of stuff as well. So,
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
Justin Bader.
Yeah. Now, he let me see. Don't quiz me. He's got the Principal Center up in Heber Springs.
Man, you're good.
I'm trying. I'll fail miserably.
And then we had this character on here called Chad Brinkley. I don't guess Chad's probably listening.
He's
today.
probably not.
But Chad Brinkley is a very good friend of ours, and if you want to talk about an edupreneur, that would be Chad Brinkley.
Yeah.
Having worked in the market, working for educational services company providing software and educational services, he has actually moved on to be just himself. And he's a true edupreneur out there doing his thing, providing services, educational technology services for schools. And always great to have him on the show.
Yeah. Very cool.
Who was next? I'm looking to. We actually have a list. Don't think we're just pulling these off our. We're not that. We're good, but we're not that good. So.
Yeah. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I'm sure not going to remember necessarily the order, especially in which we had certain guests last year. But David Gearin from National Blue Ribbon School, and he wrote a book about it. Or wrote a book anyway.
Yeah, his new book is actually it's the ultimate guide to social media for educators. Cool. You can find that. You can actually find it on his website, and that's a really great one. And then one of our good friends who we don't even have to just say his name, Kevin Honeycutt. Well, just pick anything you think would be neat. He's probably done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, seriously. And he's been on our show many times, whether it's been, set aside time to be a featured guest, or if we've been at a conference where he's been at that same conference. He's really awesome about sitting down and just, we just open the mic and we just let it flow.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really true though. That's really true.
We do, he and Ginger Lumen is another one of our EduTech friends, edupreneurs that freely just sits down with us and we'll talk about anything going on that comes to mind. There's a lot of stream of consciousness.
Yeah. This last year has been pretty amazing for us. We've done, like I said, we've had a lot of guests on the show. We've done a lot of great shows, met a lot of great people. And hey, when we come right back from this commercial, we're going to talk a little more about this wonderful year we've had. Be right back.
Hey, are you looking for a fun way to market your brand? Head over to www.edutechguys.com and reach out to us about partnerships and sponsorships and ways to get your information out to our listeners. That's www.edutechguys.com.
Almost missed that one. Had a little downtime on that one.
Oops.
And it's okay. I just put a little "What a Beautiful World" will be back in there.
Hey, there you go.
That's our song for the day. I don't know why. Maybe that's our theme for this next year. What a beautiful world it'll be. That's a great theme song.
Could be.
Actually. Wonderful theme song. Hey, we're talking about our previous shows for this year because it is today's January the 4th, 2017.
2017.
Honestly, never believed I would live this long.
Okay. So what's funny about that though is I thought about this as I was driving into work this morning. When I was a kid in 1976, we did a big, bicentennial thing, and
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even remember what we
Yeah.
did as kids or whatever. And so, but it never would have dawned on me to think beyond. Of course, in 1976, I don't know what 7, 8 years old, somewhere in there. So, I never thought really past 1977, but even beyond that, 2000 and now 2017. Wow, man, that's just, I don't know, it's amazing. It really is.
It really is. We're old men.
Well,
We're
we're
not
old
that
men
old.
in a young kid's game. Man, what are you gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about it.
That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, it's really interesting. That's what I've been thinking about it. 2017. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I remember 1976. I remember the bicentennial. But what's funny is I remember 1999 and rolling into 2000.
Yes. Holy cow! And the whole Y2K. Here's the funny thing about Y2K, right? So, for all intents and purposes, nothing happened Y2K.
Right.
And so everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the folks, they were like, oh, nothing happened. Oh, it was a big, to do about nothing. Well, the reason I believe, the main reason why nothing happened, quote unquote, is because you had all the folks in the background making sure nothing happened.
Right. Well, think of what we had to do around here.
Oh, yeah.
In
Prepping
those
everything
days.
to be able to roll over to 2000. I mean, it really was a big deal. But anyhow, we digress often.
That's what we do. Yeah, so we were going through the list of the folks we could remember were on the show, and this year we had Go Guardian. We had two gentlemen from Go Guardian. One to talk about Go Guardian administrator, and Go Guardian teacher.
Yeah.
Which still a fine service out there provided for those of you using Google Chrome.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that they talked about. And I thought it was really cool that we were able to talk in two different shows about those two different aspects, because you have the tech side of what Go Guardian does, and then we had the teacher side. So, you could see how those two pieces fit together to create that package that covers management and then also covers classroom management.
Right.
So very cool. That was great.
And that should be nice to mention. It was Matt Jones and Tyler Shaddix who our guests were on from Go Guardian. Just not those guys from Go Guardian.
Those guys, them guys over there from Go Guardian.
And then we had Will Richardson, and great speaker, great presenter, and he has a book out, Freedom to Learn. Wonderful book. We had Paul Eichen with Rokenbach Robots. That is a non-profit robotics company for education. They make some wonderful classroom packs to do Arduino support and build robots. And one of the neat things that I always liked about them was all of their parts. Once you buy their packs, the 3D templates are already on their website for free.
Yeah.
So you buy their packs, and then great. I need to print 50 more of these. Just print them.
Right.
If you got the 3D printers, just print them. And as cheap as 3D printing is getting nowadays,
right?
Like to throw out to Northwest Arkansas 3D, they do a great job of providing a wonderful product at a very, very good entry level price to get kids doing 3D printing.
Yeah.
But then we did, we started our second season in the middle of the year. And that's what's kind of weird about us. Remember, because we said June was when we started, so we decided that June would be our season-ending year.
Yeah.
And on our first show of the second season, we had Padcaster on.
Yeah. And you talk about a cool product, that they put out, which, that's one of the things looking back. And I think that's one of the things that I enjoy most about taking this kind of walk down memory lane. We look at the educators that we've talked to. We look at the folks involved with companies that work with educators. And then you have companies who aren't necessarily education focused, but with very little, I don't know what you want to call that. It doesn't take much to take a product, certain products, and immediately see where the education application comes in.
Right.
And I think Padcaster is perfectly suited for one of those where they may not have set out to take this, podcasting, video, vodcasting with your iPad, the contraption that they've got, that unit that they have. and applying it to education, but it certainly does in terms of, if you want to set up a very cool television studio, recording studio, I mean,
That's the thing to use.
it's cool.
Yeah, it's really
very
cool. It was great to have the, it's funny. I remember doing that because we did it on the floor at Histy. Remember that? We were in the booth on the floor at Histy, and he remoted in with us. The guys,
that's right.
The guys, two guys,
Yeah.
the two founders, co-founders, remoted in with us at the floor at Histy.
Yeah, that's right.
Memories. Hey, next was a really great one. So something really big hit this last year, and it really kind of was coming to a head. Well, it's still pretty popular, but that was Pokemon Go.
Oh, yes.
And we actually had Chad Freeman on the show at that time, and he was talking with us really big about gaming and education.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. I mean, we could probably do a show every week about gaming and education. Somebody could run a whole podcast on gaming and education.
And I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I wonder how many Minecraft podcasts are out there about using it in education.
Sure.
But that was a pretty cool one.
That was cool.
Who's next?
Justin McKeon from SunGuard.
SunGuard, yeah.
And talked about some of the cool things that SunGuard does across the nation, and their I don't know if it's a partnership or however that works, but their agreement with the state of Arkansas for their e-school and e-finance products that the state of Arkansas uses in terms of a statewide rollout for student information and school finance information. And he talked about some of those
We
things.
learned quite a bit about that, I remember. Yeah. The next one was really big for us, and it wasn't necessarily next. But it's the next one in line, which was the governor of the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
We were really excited to get to interview him because he was very busy, and he took the time out when he was visiting one of our local schools districts here in the Southwest Arkansas, and sat down with us in an office and had a nice chat about his new coding initiative.
Yes.
And that was really, really nice of him, and we like being a part of it. And that we'll talk about how that got us in touch with someone else down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
But right after that, we had the guys at EdTech After Dark, which is Zach, Alex, and Dan. I had a really good time talking with those guys. They run a really fun Twitter EdTech After Dark. It's a Twitter chat.
Twitter chat.
Yeah. And they run a Twitter chat that's really very, very, very popular. And it's about the time when everybody's finally gotten home, calmed down, had dinner, got the kids bathed, and can sit down and, have a nice little Twitter chat about education technology.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
fun,
very
guys.
Cool. Yep. And then that was followed by Sarah Thomas with EduMatch, and she is a dynamo.
Oh,
She was phenomenal.
Fact, she pulled over on the side of the road in her car, and that's how she came in with FaceTime, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
She FaceTimed us from on the road. Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah, literally
on the road. A lot of fun. And then due to what the governor's doing and what's happening in Arkansas with computer science, our next one was Anthony Owen.
Yeah, he is the computer science curriculum specialist for the state of Arkansas. I believe I have all the words in the right order. That I may not have that in the right order. Forgive me if I don't, but I believe that covers that. And
I think you're right. And then next we had one of our, and this is interesting. We use this interview when we're at conferences a lot because it was such a great interview, and that was Greg Connolly out of Buffalo, New York, and Greg does ESL up there. And what was interesting about that one was, it was kind of an eye opener for us. I think we knew it, but here in the South, we think of ESL as being Spanish, Hispanic. That's it. That's all we think of as English. So, you speak either Spanish or English.
Right.
Well, up there, he's talking about, multiple languages.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds.
It was like 148 or 100. I can't remember now, but
and we forget.
It was crazy. We're just like, what?
Right, and he was talking about they already had Syrian refugees coming into that area that they had to provide ESL, English as a second language support for. That's a really great. If you ever want to listen to a really great interview, that's a great one to catch back on iTunes.
Yeah.
So, and remember, all of these interviews, you can actually jump back to iTunes anytime you want and take a listen to them because that's where they are. So, and,
that's right. That'll do it.
Speaking of that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages from the silk-voiced David Henderson.
Bring the EduTech Guys live to your school or event. That's right. Contact at edutechguys.com or go to www.edutechguys.com and fill out the form. We'll be happy to provide professional development to your teachers. We'll provide in-class training to your students, or we can provide live coverage of your conference or event. Reach out to us, edutechguys.com.
Yeah, that's right. You can catch us anytime you want to at EduTechGuys on Twitter. Or you can head to the web, www.edutechguys.com. Drop down to the bottom of the page and fill out the contact form there to get in touch with us. Or just write Jeff at edutechguys.com or David at edutechguys.com. We'd love to show up at your school district, in your classroom, and work on some PBL with your kids about communication and using Google and podcasting to get the message out there.
There you go. Absolutely.
Fun times.
And speaking of getting the message out there, we also interviewed Mark and Eric with Two Nerds and a PC.
I remember that.
And that was
those
cool.
guys
That
were a
was
lot of fun.
Yes.
Those guys have a lot of energy.
Yes.
A lot of energy.
And then we had the opportunity to talk with the tech integration specialist from McMinnville, Oregon, and that was Veronica Chase. And she had actually been referred to us by Amy Fast.
Yeah, the author. Yeah. And the ed lady. She couldn't make the show. It was a last minute thing, and we got to meet Veronica and talk to her about what she does there in Oregon in her school district, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
After that, we were actually just finishing SWOW.
Right.
And we stopped off and contacted via remote with Steve Belavacqua, Karen Haas, and Vincent. Got Vincent's last name. Do you remember Vincent's last name?
I know it starts with a V.
It starts with a V.
I cannot remember. Oh, I feel so bad. I apologize, Vincent.
But those guys are all, they're with FETC. And
Barassi?
That's it. You're the man.
I don't know where that.
Vincent Barassi.
I pulled that out of the deep recesses of my brain.
We had a talk with them about some of the stuff they're doing at FETC, which had to mainly deal with special ed services and the law.
Yes.
And Karen is the lawyer in charge of making sure that the law is followed, and Vincent was a specialist. And Steve was the guy who hooked us all up with that. Steve's one of the big top guys with FETC who keeps everything moving, smoothly, and all that kind of good stuff.
And one of the things that I really enjoyed about that entire conversation, and if you're going to FETC in Orlando here at the end of January, I definitely would recommend either you going, or if you have other people from your district that are going, send somebody to their presentation, because what I enjoyed was, when you hear law and special ed and technology, generally the first place you go is, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. And their whole thing was the complete opposite. It was, here's how you do this, here's the way you do this correctly within the law, and it was another one of those eye-opening interviews, and it really made you stop and think about technology and incorporation and equity and all of that kind of stuff from a different perspective.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And there's your opportunity if you go to FETC. That's a new track for them that they've added, is to get some of those answers that you're looking for about special education and the interesting universal usage of technology and education across the board. So you're not just spending all the time in SPED or and not mainstreaming. You're putting it all together to get one good big fix for everything.
Right. Exactly. Well, and speaking of new tracks, the special ed is a new track, and a completely tech devoted track is brand new at FETC this year, and that's being headed up by Bruce Umstead, and we had him on the show shortly before the break. And so he came on and talked about what that new tech track looks like and kind of what his hopes are for that. And the main thing is getting a reach out to the folks who are on the tech side of school technology. FETC has long been a conference aimed at educators and tech integration and that side of things, but really the technology directors, the technology coordinators, they've been kind of on the fringe of FETC, and now they're being brought straight into the fold of FETC through the track that Bruce Umstead is heading up, and I think it's phenomenal. I think it'll probably take 1 or 2 conferences before that really catches on, but I think it's definitely got the making of being a technology centered portion of the overall FETC experience.
I think so.
Yeah.
It'll make it so much better. Anyway, there's what's funny. Talking about FETC 2017, that we're heading that way in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's hard to believe it's right around the corner. This year for us in conferences has been really exciting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The Arkansas Conference of Technology started in 2016 in January.
Right.
And they realized January was kind of a bad time in Arkansas because if it's going to ice, snow, and sleet, it's going to hit in January.
That's exactly.
So they dropped back and shuffled, and he re-rolled everything, and we did another one in October. So that's the new date. So we actually got 2 in 1 year, which was kind of nice. We did some stuff at Texarkana Schools. We did a Level Up conference with Texarkana Schools.
Yeah.
We did some SWAC professional development here at the Southwest Arkansas Education Cooperative.
Yeah.
HISTE, the Hot
Yes,
Springs
Hot
Technology
Springs.
Institute.
Institute.
And Schools Without Walls.
Yep.
And then right before Christmas, we were in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, doing the AESA conference, and that was the second time we'd been to AESA, and hopefully we're hoping that becomes an annual thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about doing conferences that we get to do over and over is that you make friends, you get to see people that you hadn't seen face to face for the year, perhaps. Maybe you've emailed or chatted or whatever during the year, but to sit down and talk with some of the folks that we get to talk with at these conferences, that's one of my favorite parts.
I think so too. We learn quite a bit. We become very good jack of all trades by listening to what everybody has to say.
Yeah.
So we want to throw this out there. FETC 2017 is right around the corner.
Yeah.
David and I are actually road tripping to it because we want to take a road trip. So that will be happening live on social media. So if you want to have a great time, starting on this January the 22nd, probably about 7 a.m. in the morning, for probably the next 24 to 36 hours, you should keep up with us. It's going to be a hoot of us traveling to Orlando and setting up and preparing to live broadcast from FETC 2017. I believe we're in front of the bloggers area. Is that right?
I believe that's what
we're
they
not
said.
Sure, but we could be moved. So
yeah,
when you're as big names as we are, they're gonna.
That's right. They'll put us where they want us. That's
usually that's really good for us because we're right near the bathrooms.
Or the kitchen.
Ooh, that's even better.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's coming up. And also this spring, a lot of great shows lined up for the rest of this year, the rest of the school year, the first half of 2017.
Yeah.
A lot of coding, a lot of robotics. One thing that we'll have coming up is Arkansas will have its finals or its all-state coding competition. They should be announcing it any time.
Right.
And so we'll know about that for sure. So lots of great stuff coming up this semester, this first half of the year.
That's right. First half of 2017.
So, hey, listen, today we this is one of our good friends, one of our favorite musicians, and he has a new EP that came out in September, and the EP is called Futureboy, and the title track on that is called Futureboy, and we thought, hey, what a great song to start off the new year with.
There you go.
Futureboy, Nick Flora. We'll be right back.
As a kid, I'd ride my bike past the house of the girl I liked, just to see if she would notice. I didn't worry about the past, how much time time going back there in my mind. If I'd only known that I would spend my time going back there in my mind. If I'd only known. Though I know I can't control what's to come and what's on hold, it won't stop me from trying. Never been one for letting go. It's hard to grasp what we'll never know. We'll still try and try, but we'll never know what the future holds. But we'll spend our time trying to travel in our minds to the great unknown. But we'll spend our time trying to travel in our minds to the great unknown. Soon the present will be the past. We'll take for granted this time we have. But we'll never know what the future holds, and we'll spend our time trying to travel in our minds to the great unknown. Great unknown.
Hey, Nick Flora on EduTechGuys Radio. Really nice, beautiful song to start off the year. Futureboy. Check him out on iTunes. That's the name of the EP, Futureboy. Or just look up Nick Flora, Nickflora. You can catch Nick out there. He's got lots of albums. I think on iTunes, he's probably got 7.
Wow.
So Nick's a Nashville artist out of Nashville, Tennessee, and a really great guy. Arkansas transplanted native kind of kid. He grew up his formidable years in Arkansas.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hey, listen, we're going to be at some great places. One of them you've already heard us talk about. We're going to be at FETC, the Future of Education Technology Conference, January the 24th through the 27th in Orlando, Florida. That big party ride starts on the 22nd. You want to catch us on social media, and possibly, hey, we might even live podcast from the car. You never know.
You never know. And not probably not the one driving.
Yeah.
Although you never know. I've done that. We've done that. Before.
We have done that before.
We did that. Remember that? We did a show.
Honeycutt.
Yeah, Kevin Honeycutt flew in, and we did a show with Kevin and I driving
Between
down
Little
the road
Rock to Conway.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. That was a little nuts.
But it wasn't bad. You had your eyes on the road. I mean, it was hands free. So
It was hands-free.
audio. But, hey, we're also going to be at one that David just booked for us.
Yeah, right after we get back from FETC, we'll be back like a day or two, and then immediately we will head to SAU in Magnolia, that's Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia, for a regional robot competition on February 1st. And we will be broadcasting live from that event. That's going to be fun. It's going to be different. I don't really have any idea what the actual plan is for that. We're just going to kind of show up. And what I'm kind of hoping is that maybe we can interview some of the teams and coaches and parents and anybody else that walks in,
And you know how that goes for us, trying to get people off the street.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a microphone.
No, don't. I don't want to be on the air.
There's candy, though. I think we put a bowl of candy.
Oh,
out.
I think you're right.
Pizza. Pizza seems to be like a universal human bait.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll try.
There'll be nothing like talking to people eating pizza.
I'm sorry, I can't have gluten. So hey, you know what? It's that time of day again. You know what time it is? It's
the Google tip of the week.
It's time for the Google tip of the week. This is the first one of the new year. So
Woo!
At one of our favorite blogs, the Google blog for education, there's lots of great stuff there. So back in April, Google released the Tilt Brush. Now, what the Tilt Brush is a neat little hardware piece you can hold in your hand, but it's also, the Tilt Brush itself is a virtual reality app from Google that lets you paint in 3-dimensional space. So you can actually walk around your brush strokes from any angle and use, like really cool materials like fire and stars and rainbows and stuff like that. So you're actually walking around it, making a 3-dimensional set as you move around it. Now, here's the cool part is you're going to use a VR headset.
Right.
So, just a addendum here to this whole thing, a little caveat, I guess would be, is VR is here to stay. A lot of people got VR headsets for Christmas.
My whole family did from my mother.
And so the VR headsets some of them come with some neat little joysticks so you can play games and move around and interact. They're not very expensive because now you have to have a device to put in them.
Sure.
So that's that. It's not just the what was the big VR device that had
like the Oculus Rift?
Oculus Rift. That was a one all in one piece.
Right.
But this is pretty cheap. So anyway, when they launched it in April, they had a lot of professional artists get involved. Well, they began working pretty closely with about 60 artists, and they created the Tilt Brush Artist in Residence program. So there's a website that we can throw out to you, and you can find out about it so that you can actually get in touch with it and find out if you can bring them to your school or get, better yet, in a VR experience or online and learn about what they're doing with it. What's really cool about the Tilt Brush is that it's a wonderful way for artists and students to express themselves in a 3-dimensional area. And if you want to visit it on the web, we'll tweet out the actual blog that talks about it, and we'll also tweet out the Artist in Residence Tilt Brush page where you can. It's just tiltbrush.com/air is what it is.
There you
go. You can go there and see what you can do with this really cool piece of technology and this cool app. And so there it is. That's the Google tip of the week.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
For the artists out there.
I am not one. I can, in my head, as I believe now this. I will anyway. There's a comedian that I have listened to, and that's one of his things is, in my head, I'm a Rembrandt, but something happens between my head and my hands, and it all falls apart. Yeah. That's paraphrasing.
That's me too. In my head, I'm like a Rembrandt, but then when it gets to my hands, I'm a kindergartner.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't, something happens.
I'm a right-hand kindergartner with a crayon in his left hand, if you know what I mean.
Awesome.
I completely understand.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, catch us on the web, edutechguys.com. Catch us on social media. Just look up EduTech Guys. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Google Hangouts. We're on Google Play. We're everywhere.
Instagram.
Look in your closet tonight before you go to bed. We might be hiding behind the shoes. We are there.
The shoes.
The shoes. It's a wonderful time to be in education. It's a wonderful time to be here with us. And we're about to leave, though. So you're going to be by yourself.
What?
Listen, I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to EduTech Guys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.